recording. Alrighty. Boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I'm your host, Harry Rice. You're listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens. And tonight, there was a game played. I can tell you about that much. There was a game that was played tonight, and a game did happen. It was against the Buffalo Sabres, which means a game played between two teams that is usually pretty fun ended up being almost lackluster, but also typically fun. I don't know how. However, before we talk about the game, before we even talk about the lines or anything like that, we've got a special guest. If you listened to the episode last week when we played the Buffalo Sabres, then you'll know this guest very well. It's the one and only, the very special Chef Camaro. Chef, how are you doing?
What's going on? I really enjoyed Game 2 of the best of 3.
Yeah, me too. A series that Montreal still has the edge in, and we'll see next week.
Despite being down 2-0?
It's still up in the standings. We'll see what happens next week in the third game. But yeah, this little mini best of 3, which I don't know how the NHL booked it like this, but yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. However, the Canadiens losing, not so much. But the game overall, I did enjoy quite a bit. Chev, I believe that you have something that you want to mention that you weren't around for right away. Just, do you want to make that clear to the audience, or do you want to get it?
Yes. So,
yeah.
For reasons unknown, I was not available for the second period. So when Harry decides to do his normal spiel about the second period, basically, not the goals, because obviously, I watch those in post game and replay and stuff, so I know what happened there. Anything else, I will just shut the hell up and just let him cook.
Thank you, Chef. So, yeah, the game tonight, a big one for both teams, and I get that it, to some people listening who don't realize how close it is in the standings, might be saying, Harry, we're barely 50 games into the season. How is this a big game already? If the Sabres win this game, they are within 2 points of the Montreal Canadiens for third in the Atlantic. If the Canadiens win this game, they are up 6 points, I believe, on the Buffalo Sabres. So
with a game
in hand as well. So this is the difference between getting a very comfortable lead for a little while and holy shit, they're right on the doorstep. Holy shit, they're right there. Holy shit, they're right there. Oh my god, please stop. Why are you getting so close? And so it's safe to say this was a very big game for both the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, and as for me, personally, before the game, I was excited. Halfway through, I wanted to rip my hair out. And by the end, I was just disappointed. I imagine the results are almost the exact opposite for you. Chev, what did you think of the game?
So, since I missed the second period, besides watching the goals post-game, I asked you before we started recording that from what I've heard, it was a 30-minute versus 30-minute game. The Buffalo Sabres played the first 30 minutes and then took the last 30 off, while the Habs took their first 30 minutes off and then played the final 30. The difference is that we scored more goals in our 30 than the Habs scored in their 30.
Yeah, that's kind of a perfect way to put it. Sabres played the first 30. Canadiens played not even necessarily just the first 30. The Sabres played the first period. Both teams kind of did, but it was more the Sabres, despite the shots leaning towards the Canadiens. Very Canadian second period, a absolutely Canadian second period. And then a first half, sort of Canadiens period. Second half, very defensive, Sabres dominating in their own zone type of game.
Kind of shades last week.
Yeah, almost, yeah. The Sabres were really able to shut down the Canadiens last week, especially in the third period, and they did it again here. Safe to say, Marty St. Louis should be fired as soon as possible because he
Oh
does not
wow.
know how to adapt to defensive games. He does not know how to adapt to defensive strategies like the ones that the Buffalo Sabres use. They can get in the zone. Don't ask him to get a shot in the third period against a defensive team like Buffalo.
And I will take note on this just to interrupt real quick. Marty decided to change up the offensive play style compared to last week because obviously what they did last week didn't work. I don't know what they're going to be planning for next week because today didn't work either. They have to find some sort of offensive game plan to break through that defensive scheme.
Yeah, yeah, I get changing the offensive style, which I agree. I think that they should have changed the way that they played the offensive zone, but they didn't adapt upon their adaption. They went with their adapted style and they got board played every single time. The Sabres just chip it out and they never did anything to change their style of play. The Canadiens did, I should say. The Canadiens didn't do anything to adapt on that. Okay, let's try this. Let's go back to this. Oh, well, we usually rush. We're trying to cycle. Let's just try, dump it in, see what we can do from there. The Canadiens weren't doing anything to actually push for the tying goal late in the period, late in the third.
They went from a one-trick pony.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of lag.
Schematic last week to a one-trick pony schematic today. Apologies there, but
No
I'll
problem.
repeat that. They went from a one-trick pony schematic last week to a one-trick pony schematic tonight.
Yeah, which is weird because we usually aren't. We can usually rush, we can cycle, we can dump it in, we can do a lot of things to get set up offensively. And tonight, we just seem to revert to, yeah, you know what? Let's just cycle it. At least in the third period, I'd say. The first and second, they were pretty good at rushing. They couldn't figure out the way to solve the 1-2-2 that the Sabres were running in that third period. And it's less showing of, hey, the young guys still need to adapt. It was more so showing of, okay, well, Marty doesn't know how to teach these guys how to adapt. Because I'm sure if you have Bruce Boudreau or Gerard Gallant or, hell, I'll even say a Pete DeBoer, who is notably known around the league for not adapting, they would have been able to have these Canadiens team adapt. And even if you don't tie the game, you generate more chances in that second half of the third period. I guarantee it. If you have one of those guys behind the bench, instead of Coach Marty.
The Habs had their opportunities tonight, but just like last week, I think it was just another game where Marty got completely outcoached.
Yeah, and it's not really a surprise because Lindy's an experienced coach. He's been around, 30, 35, 40 years in coaching. Marty's maybe been on Earth for 45 years, I think. He might be 50, but I'm pretty sure he's like 45. Marty is still brand new to the game in comparison to Lindy Ruff's experience. So it's not a surprise that he is getting out coached in games like this. But again, it's the fact that he's not adapting. He's just, all right, go out, play your game, guys. And I didn't listen to the post game, obviously, because most of the questions they ask are in French, and I don't understand French all that well. But the fact that he probably said again in the presser, we played a good game. I thought the guys had a good 60 minutes. We just again didn't get the result that we wanted. Said something along to that degree. I'm sure of it. I don't get. And another thing that I don't get is not really in the game. This is more so in the more so about what wasn't in the game. Is that Arbor Jacki was a healthy scratch tonight instead of Jaden Struble, who I believe was a -2 on the game. I know for sure he was a -1 because that first goal scored against, which we'll talk about very early on when we get into my notes, that defending the 2-on-1 was Jaden Struble. And I'm not saying Arbor Jacki would have stopped that from being a goal. No, it was a really well placed pass, great shot past Monty. But I'm just saying, aside from that goal, Jacki would have stopped a lot of the bullshit that was going on the ice. He has a presence to him where the Canadiens play better when he's on the ice as opposed to when Struble is on the ice. I think that even if Jacki makes his occasional mistakes, Arbor Jacki just brings something to the team that they play with more confidence and they exude more confidence when he's on the team. They shoot better, they play better. They're just a better team when you have Arbor Jacki out there to protect the guys. And I don't get it. It's like if the Sabres, to compare it to this, it's like if the Sabres scratched Beck Mellenstein because he made one mistake every 10 games. And they scratched him for 6 straight. Like it's on that type of level. And I know that you and I'm sure a lot of other Sabres fans love Mellenstein because he never gives up. He always gives 100% every shift, and he's a great fourth line energy guy. Arbor Jacki is a great third pairing energy guy. That's what he does, and I get that he does need to work on his defense. I completely understand it, but you can't go. Coach Marty cannot go for a week without criticizing Jacki in some way. It seems that when he had the mistakes, the game after Vancouver, I forget which game that was, he had some pretty brutal mistakes in that game, I will say, and he didn't get scratched, which I was happy about that. I was like, all right, cool, you're gonna let him play, he's gonna have to learn. I love that you're letting him play, you're letting him adapt and learn. And they scratch him tonight, and they scratched him last game. And to me, especially scratching him against the Wild, who have Jacob Middleton, Yakov Trenin, Marcus Foligno, if I remember correctly, David Jones is a little bit of a hitter. You have these very physical players who are not afraid to hit and probably would have stepped off just a little bit if Jacki was out there. The Sabres, that fourth line, Mellenstein, Greenway, and Krebs, is a grindy fourth line who aren't afraid to hit. Dahlin, we know, is a shit disturber. He would not have done the real big thing, which we'll talk about, if Jacki was on the ice, more than likely. Or not even just on the ice, but just playing. He wouldn't have done that. I don't get why Marty will punish Arbor Jacki for the one mistake he'll make every 2 or 3 games when Mike Matheson, who admittedly I thought had an okay game, not a good game, not a bad game, just he was there. Matheson will make far more egregious mistakes. We give him a 5-6 year extension, and he makes these horrible mistakes, constantly turning over the puck that leads to a 2-on-1, shooting into a guy's shin, and then the puck comes out of the zone, and all right, well, guys, come on, we got to reset. Struble, who's not great, and Carrier, who's gotten a lot better in the last 10 games. But earlier in the year, Carrier was making a lot of mistakes. Marty wasn't scratching him. He wasn't bringing in Jacki, bringing in Struble, bringing in Engstrom. Carrier was still in the lineup. Jacki will not develop if you're playing him for 11 minutes a night either. You have to give him that time. He was playing on the penalty kill right at the end before he got the healthy scratch. I thought he was okay on the penalty kill. If you can give Jacki 15, 16, 17 minutes a night on a third pair and not limit his minutes to 10, 11 minutes, if you can give him that extra ice time, that's only going to help him. I get we're not in a rebuild anymore. I get that. But if you can teach Arbor by giving him more time and he develops, if you put him in starting the next game, say you put him in, which he should be in Saturday against Boston, but you put him in Saturday against Boston, which I will remind everybody I will not be here for. I'll be at my sister's wedding, so I'll be reviewing the game on Sunday. Fingers crossed that I am able to get the game recorded, which I should be able to, but again, fingers crossed, just in case. Arbor should be in starting with the Boston game, but if you put him in and you start giving him 15, 16 minutes of ice time a night, he's going to develop. He's going to work out that defensive efficiency that he seems to have at times. He's going to work. He's going to pan out. He's going to be a solid third pair defenseman. I guarantee if the Canadiens last trade deadline, when all the rumors, or the offseason I think it was, when the rumors were, teams are offering a first-round pick for Arber Xhekaj could go for as high as a first-round pick. If you trade him, and whoever you trade him to, say it was, say Dallas, for example, for whatever reason. Say Dallas trades you a first-round pick for Arber Xhekaj, and he's getting a third-pair role, 16, 17 minutes a night. I guarantee you he's playing well right now. He is, well, firstly, in the lineup. Secondly, he's playing well. I have no clue why Marty seems to have such a hatred, not just in general for Arber Xhekaj, but physical players. Sammy Blais was having a great, solid game before he got a healthy scratch. He also gets healthy scratched, not after the Ottawa game, but after the Buffalo game, which I thought he had an okay game in. He scratched for Ottawa, who's very physical. Scratched against the Wild, who, again, have a couple physical players. Scratched tonight against Buffalo, who played a good defensive, physical game. Something that both Blais and Xhekaj can do. Physicality is in the game. I get that Marty was never a physical player. He was an offensive, could play defense type player. But I don't know why he seems to think there should be no such thing on the Montreal Canadiens as a hard hitter. I'm not going to hear it about Josh Anderson, because Anderson does not lay big hits. He never lays big hits. Josh Anderson is a guy who will throw the body, couple shoulder checks. He'll never give you any, open ice, Scott Stevens but clean type hits. He'll go into the corner, shoulder to shoulder, maybe throw you down once in a while. Xhekaj and Blais are the guys that should be on this team. Energy guys. Guys, again, Blais, who can play defensively. He can play in the penalty kill. I think he was even playing second unit when he was in the lineup on the penalty kill, if I remember correctly. Blais and Xhekaj need to be in the lineups, and I don't know. I just think that if Marty were to get fired, depending on who you bring in, assuming it's a veteran coach, which seems like this team will need if they want to win anything in the playoffs, I would want it to wait until the Olympic break, but given how rough this team has been over the past couple weeks, I don't know if I would even wait until that long, because it seems like the Canadiens might be out of it. Might be out of the playoffs. Not out of the race, obviously, but they might be looking on the outside looking in by the time of the Olympics. So yeah, that's a little rant. Sporty, Chef, do you have anything you want to mention before I get into the lines and all that?
Damn. If I would have known you were that passionate about Arber Xhekaj, I'm sorry for bringing him up.
No, dude, I love Arber Xhekaj. I love Arber. I think
Jersey, man.
Sorry?
Yo, Arber, if somehow you're listening to this, give my man a jersey.
Yeah. Yo, Arber, I love you so much. I want you to pay for my jersey. But yeah.
How the hell are we already 20 minutes into the episode and we're not even in the lines?
Well, firstly, I had to introduce you. We had to talk for a little while, and then I went on a big rant. I
just went on a 10-minute rant about Arber Xhekaj.
Hey, not about Arber Xhekaj, about Marty St. Louis on Arber Xhekaj.
All right, so here's what you missed in those 10 minutes. If for those that are scoreboard watching, yes, I am actively scoreboard watching because I'm not used to being in this situation. The Ottawa Senators have successfully blown a 3-0 lead and lost 5-3.
Oh my God, let's go! Thank you, Nashville.
Steven Stamkos with a hat trick and the goal and the go-ahead goal with 1:13 left.
Oh my God! And then who scored the empty netter?
Some random bum.
Oh, nice. Probably Ozzy Weisblatt.
Whoever 36 is.
That might actually be Ozzy Weisblatt.
It honestly might. Let me look it up.
Go
ahead and do the lines real quick. I'll go ahead and look that up for you.
All right. So, yeah. So, basically, Arber should be in. Blais should be in. Scratch Veleno. Scratch Struble. All right. The opening lines for the Canadiens at the 20... Cole Smith. That is indeed the better Cole. Did score tonight, so... Damn, Rip Caulfield. Rip Perfetti, too, I guess. All right, so the opening lines for the Canadiens were... or Caulfield, Suzuki, Doc, Slavkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Anderson, Deneau, Gallagher, and Bolduc, Evans, Veleno. On the blue line, it's Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Struble, and Gouli, Carrier. Samuel Montembeault gets the start for the Canadiens, and Jakub Dobeš backs him up after a pretty meh last game. The opening lines for the Sabres were Doan, Thompson, Tuck, Zucker, McLeod, Quinn, Benson, Ostlin, Hellenis, and Greenway, Krebs, Mellenstein. On the blue line, Samuelson, Dahlin. That is Matthias Samuelson, not Shell. If Shell was 55 still playing in the league, I'd be very concerned. Byron, Power. That is Owen, not White. Well, you guys know what type of power it is. And Bryson Kesselring. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen gets the start for the Sabres, and Colton Ellis backs him up with Devin Levi existing somewhere else right now. He probably should have been the starter at this point in his career, but Tease is not, unfortunately. Before the
Still
game,
in Rochester.
Still in Rochester. Oh my God. Let Devin Levi get your ass to Montreal ASAP. We need a goaltender, please and thank you.
Oh, I thought you said before we recorded tonight's game wasn't on Monty.
Well, it's not. We'll talk about it, but okay, let me phrase it. We need a backup goaltender.
Hey, what's wrong with Jacob Fowler?
Hey, Jacob Fowler's in the AHL, motherfucker. All right, but the most important thing to note before the game, Yuppie had a mascot party tonight. That was always fun to see. You gotta love Yuppie. Even people who hate the Canadiens, I feel like, still like Yuppie. Sporty, what do you think about Yuppie?
Ain't no party
right,
like
thank
a
you.
Yuppie party.
Ain't no part of the Yuppie party. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm probably going to use that in the future, so I'm just letting you know now. I'm stealing that from you. Metal returned, the secondary Canadiens mascot. That's right. The New York Rangers have 0 mascots. The Canadiens have 2. So Metal returned for tonight. I believe it's one night only, technically. Iceberg from the Penguins. Louis from the Blues. NJ Devil, obviously from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Slapshot from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Thunderbug from the... I was really hoping I was going to get all these.
Blue Jackets.
Thank you. From the Blue Jackets. And Rocky from the Denver Nuggets. For some reason. We're all special guests tonight.
He crashed that one.
Sorry?
He crashed that event.
Yeah, he did. I genuinely think Rocky showed up. He was like, hey, mascot party and no one invited me? Where's my hug? Rocky seems like a where's my hug guy. But that's a deep cut for anybody. That's a deep cut for anybody who watches Mr. Gigi. I hope you guys enjoy that. Check out Mr. Gigi if you never have. Great content creator. So yeah, it's a UP mascot party tonight. I assume they showed a couple things with UP on the TSN feed. Unfortunately, I was watching the MSG feed tonight. Rather unfortunately, because aside from Rob Ray, the Sabres commentary booth is very boring. At least in my opinion. But yeah.
Hey, it's right. Hey, said he's better than Gary Galley.
I did say other than Rob Ray. So, to start the first period, the Habs ice a puck. And, the Sabres score 44 seconds in. Habs do get the puck out. Sabres come right back in on a rush. And, it's going to be Jason Zucker who opens the scoring. He makes it 1-0 on a 2-on-1. Struble left out to defend. He's just not able to. Quinn with the pass on that one. Zucker just one-times it past Montembeault. And 44 seconds in, the Sabres score on their first shot. Zucker gets his 11th of the year from Quinn and McLeod. So the Sabres go down early, or the Canadiens go down early. I wish it was the Canadiens going up. The Habs press. Gouli has a shot out of play off of a good scramble by Kapanen. Thompson has speed. He gets a near break, but the long shot is saved by Montembeault. Deneau has a chance the other way, but that gets blockered. Habs then with a rush for the fourth line. Bolduc ends up giving a puck away, but that eventually ends the pressure. Gouli has a nice shoulder check along the boards. Doc with a nice chip in. Suzuki tries to center for Caulfield, but just wide. Gouli behind the net, ends up eating a Zucker shoulder up high. Of course, there's no call, because why would there be? It's only a shoulder to the head. Why would it get a call?
I watched the replay. It actually wasn't a shoulder.
Oh,
it was one of these things I've ever seen, honestly.
It was one of the what? You lagged for a second.
It was one of the strangest hits I've ever seen.
Really? What?
It was not a shoulder to the head. It was a fucking helmet to the head.
It was a
helmet to the jaw.
It was a head-on-head collision, basically.
Yes. I'm trying to figure out what direction Zucker was trying to lead in. Like it's like he wasn't even trying to go for a hit. It's like he very Looney Tunishly stumbled forward because on look he went freaking flying.
Dude, he does, man. Like Gooley was down.
I gotta pull it up because the angle that he took, I've never seen that before.
You're talking about Gooley when he gets hit, right?
Yeah, friggin' Zucker. Because I knew it wasn't a shoulder because his shoulder never went up. It was a friggin' headbutt.
Which is still a penalty.
But just like what we're gonna see later with friggin' Bolduc, I feel like that they probably just ruled it immediately as incidental contact.
Weirdly, that would make sense. I mean, you'd arguably want to call both, and we'll talk about my thoughts on the Bolduc thing because they may surprise you, Canadiens fans. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, I assume that laugh was just you seeing the Gooley thing again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so apparently, I guess Gooley eats a headbutt from Jason Zucker. There's still no call, regardless. Andy pokes at UPL after a cover. There's a little bit of a scrum. Slavkovsky then gets into a scrum with after a whistle. Galley went after Zucker after a whistle. Andy also did. Zucker's not a fighter, so he's not going to own up to the headbutt. Sabres get a look. Tage has a shot that gets saved. Suzuki with a nice cross check on McLeod. The game's got a bit of a chippy edge halfway through, and it would somewhat remain. I mean, for parts of the second...
I expected it to get chippy after last week.
Yeah. I assumed it would get rough. I didn't think it would get to the point of headbutts and elbows, but I mean, I'm more than fine with that. I hope part 3 has a good finale, because you just gotta hate a trilogy that doesn't nail the landing, but we'll see next week. The Habs ice a puck with 10:38 left. Habs do get it out. Tuck gets a rush, but the shot is held by Monty. There's a 2-on-1 for the Sabres, but a nice stick to break that up. I didn't see who that was. It looked like it was Matheson, but I couldn't tell, though. There's a chance for Suzuki. Just hops over his stick on a cross crease. Habs do gain some zone time. Gallagher hits the post off of a clear and coming in from a line change. That was a long-range shot. Literally hits the post dead on and stays out, unfortunately.
Shout out the friggin' guy at the Bell Center that was working the spotlight.
Yeah, turn those shits on right away.
Following Gallagher for like 5 seconds.
Hey guys, here's Gallagher.
Wondering why there's like no horn going off, why there's no celebrating.
Guys, that went in. Guys, I think that went in. No, it didn't, Bob. Turn those off. All right. Gallagher and Krebsman got a little bit tangled up. The game was pretty chippy in this first, especially. Kesselring and Veleno shove each other after a Veleno shot that's held. And off the draw, Kesselring gets called for a penalty. He's called for a high stick on Evans. Tries a stick lift. Evans gets his stick out of the way accidentally and eats a high stick as a result, so that sucks. The Canadiens do go to the power play with 7 minutes left. Sabres clear twice early on. There's a puck that goes into the bench. Greenway has a late hit on Caulfield after an offside. Not a big hit, but just a shoulder. Doc has a nice rush up the middle, but back the other way, there's a chance. And, Mellenstein, or as I put in my notes, Melstein, along the boards, just beats off Noah Dobson to the net and just puts it home. Yeah, Dobson tries to stick check. He doesn't go for a hit. Matheson doesn't come in to try and help at all. Mellenstein just fakes out Monty, and he just puts it home. And the Sabres...
No. You said something else.
Yeah, he beats Dobson off the boards.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, he beats Dobson off. Yeah. Damn
it.
So yeah, Matheson. I wish it was Matheson scoring. Maybe not on his own net, but I wish he was scoring. Mellenstein.
Did Dobson at least enjoy getting beat off?
Sorry?
Did Dobson at least enjoy getting beat off?
You'd have to ask him. I don't speak for Noah Dobson in that manner. Mellenstein with his 4th of the year. Is that a career high, Sporty?
Probably not.
Damn. Well, with his 4th of the year, that has to be his first shorthanded goal, I'd imagine, of the year.
It is, yes. The Sabres 7th shorthanded goal overall.
Yeah, I did see that. He scored, or I did hear that, I should say. He scores from Samuelsson. Hashtag Samuelsson for Norris. Get it trending. It's 2-0. You're welcome. It's 2-0 Sabres late in the penalty kill. And with just over 5 minutes left, the Habs are 0-for-1 on the power play. If you will, they're actually -1 for 1, but who's counting? Not
can
me.
Can I just chime in real quick and just point this out?
You're the special guest. No, you cannot. No, yeah, go ahead.
The Habs power play is what killed them tonight.
Yeah, the power play was not good. The power play
was actually more of a momentum killer instead of a momentum shifter.
Yeah, especially on this first one where the Canadiens had a grand total of 0 shots. They were outshot 1-0 on their own power play.
And outscored 1-0.
Yeah. Actually, they might have been outshot 2-0 then.
The Sabres admin put a strange comparison to a certain 2005-2006 playoff goal by Jason Pominville. Shorthanded.
And Malmstein scored a very similar goal?
He did. Sabres admin put it side by side. Remind me to send it to you after we're done recording.
Yeah, all right, yeah, because I'm interested to see that. Apparently, Beck Malmstein is just Jason Pominville 2.0.
It was the infamous "Now do you believe these guys are good, scary good" goal.
Oh, was it that one? Oh, wow. Oh shit, nice. All right, I definitely want to check that out later. So, I will try to remind you. But then again, with my dementia, who knows? All right, so let's see if I pronounce this right. Hellenus. Okay. Hellenus hits the post on a rush. He has a really good shot. I gotta give it to the kid.
3 games into his career and his shot is already unfair.
Yeah, you messaged me about that and I saw that. He didn't get much ice time tonight. It was what, maybe 12 minutes?
9.5 minutes.
9.5 minutes. Hits the post. He has a good shot. Hellenus, if he stays in the NHL, this kid is going to be good.
I don't think he's going back to Rochester anytime soon, just saying.
I don't blame the Sabres. He had a 3-point rookie game?
Not even because of injury, but the fact that he's already clicking with the other young guys. Is it crazy to say that in a line of Zach Benson, Noah Östlund, and friggin'
Konsta Hellenus?
Konsta Hellenus. Östlund's the old man.
By what, like 3 months?
He's 21. Benny is 20 and Hellenus is 19.
Oh my god, 20. Well, it's almost like Slavkovsky with the second line. He's the old dude at like 21 on that line. I love that we both have kid lines. Dude, a playoff series, maybe not this year, but like next year, a playoff series with the kid lines. God damn, that would
kid line, bro. At this point, we have fucking children lines.
That's yeah. The
toddler line.
The toddler line. Oh my god. Hey, baby's playing hockey. That's a good idea. The baby hockey league coming soon. The Goo Goo Gaga League coming soon. No, there's another idea I have that I'd much rather do aside from the
Goo Goo Dolls.
Shut up, Iris. That one was Goo Goo Dolls, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I gotta make sure.
You did good.
Shut up, brand new low. All right. God, I don't even think I've ever listened to Iris now that I think about it. And
anyways, what else happened?
Yeah, okay, so what happened? There's a second line chance. I had to find my place in my notes again. There's a second line chance for Kapanen. He just goes off a post. That sucks. Benson throws a hit at the horn, and he comes spiraling in. Holy crap, perfect spiral. He comes I was surprised you didn't mention what I just said, Sporty. perfect spiral.
Well, I heard Benson, so.
Oh, Benson. Oh, well, Benson comes in, Andy spirals in, perfect spiral, and we get a scrum at the end of the period. I believe no penalties would come of that.
Really don't get the reference.
Ted 2.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, perfect spiral. So the shots. How did they get Tom Brady to agree to that? Shots are 12-8 for the Canadiens, and the Sabres have a 2-0 lead after the first period. So a somewhat okay period for the Canadiens, but the Sabres fans have to be very happy with the end of that first period.
But the biggest problem is over the past couple of games, the second period hasn't been exactly the most kind to the Sabres, as seen coming up.
Yeah, so I'm going to get into the second period. You will not be hearing from Chev for probably another 5-10 minutes. So,
Except for the... Obviously, I saw those.
Yes. All right. So, aside from the goals. So the Sabres press in the opening minute. There's a tuck pass down. Oh, there's a tuck pass that comes out of the zone all the way down to UPL. Kapanen avoids a hook, surprisingly. He just can't find the puck. And the Sabres score 2.5 minutes in. It's such a weird play. Monty makes a good save. There's a rebound in the air. Monty tries to bat it away. He can't. His stick is on the ice. Struble just refuses to cover Zach Benson, who just taps it home, basically, and it's 3-0 Sabres. Benson with
There's a lot more exciting than what you made that out to be.
There's a lot. Oh, okay. I'm excited to hear your analysis. But firstly, Benson, with surprisingly just his 6th of the year, scores from Helenius and Ostlund. So the kid line gets on the board for the Sabres, or if you will, if I may create a new acronym for them, the Hob line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you have to say about the goals, Sporty?
Instead, you made it seem like it was just like your average thing where it was just bad blown coverage, but instead it was really insane hand-eye coordination by Zach Benson. It was an outlet feed from Ostlund to Helenius. A backhand that initially I thought was on goal, but no. Benson tipped that shit out of the air, off the pipe, tips it again over the goaltender, and then just jams it home.
I did not realize that's what would happen.
Benny always showed. Good Lord, Edmonton's getting killed. But
oh my God, are they?
It's 6-1 Pittsburgh.
Holy shit!
Yeah, safe to say that the Jari trade hasn't exactly worked out. But yeah, Benny has always shown that he has really good hand-eye coordination, and that really showed there. The kid line, 4 goals in their last 2 games.
Yeah, and like how does this kid not have more goals? Like is
Benny?
Yeah,
he's more of a, that's why.
He's more of a what?
A passer.
With those hands.
Yes.
My God, I feel like this kid's probably the next like Alex Tongue. A fantastic shot, refuses to shoot.
He does not have a fantastic shot whatsoever.
Okay, so he's not Alex Tongue then. He's more of a
no.
More of a Pavel Bure then.
Think of actually no, think this. Think Nick Backstrom.
Oh, really great playmaker, respectable shot.
Respectable shot, and will probably win on a one-on-one board battle.
Oh, fuck. Shit, if that kid line becomes your second line anytime soon, my God, the NHL, look out for the Sabres.
With the ratness of a Marchand.
Oh my God.
How many times have I said to you that Benny is literally just a rat?
You've said that to me a lot. A lot.
A quote from Tage Thompson. Benny is quote the dumbest guy I know.
And he of course meant that as a compliment.
The best part is that I could tell this dude only knows hockey, but is genuinely dumb everywhere else.
Dude, I'm looking at this Hockey DB picture now. I totally agree with you. I totally get that.
I agree with Tate, yeah.
He looks dumb. And I mean that in the best way possible, Zach Benson. Please don't beat me up. You're fucking.
He put all of his brains into hockey,
He
which
did.
is why he's so hockey smart.
Oh yeah,
I can go on and on about why Zach Benson is amazing.
but we don't have 5 hours to spend. I'm not gonna say waste, but to spend on
You
this
just
show.
spent 20 minutes talking about Arbor Jack guys.
Hey, it was 8 minutes. Get it right. Arbor Jack Guy has more of an impact than Zach Benson. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Just a reminder, the Flyers drafted Matvei Michkov and they could have had Zach Benson.
Yeah, they also drafted Jet Luchenko when they could have had Konsta Helenius.
Oh my god. Wasn't there... Everybody was saying they should draft Helenius too, right?
Yep.
Wow, who would have thought? The fan...
They took Jet Luchenko, and then we friggin' ran up on that stage at the Sphere.
Lindy waddled up, I'm making the goddamn pick.
He actually did announce the pick.
Oh, perfect. When can I get this fucking kid in my lineup?
The blackened former general manager let Lindy make the pick.
The black. All right, but that's very nice. I don't know why I'm laughing.
He shall be remain nameless in this city, even though the team that he built is doing really good right now.
Oh, good, perfect. Okay, all right. So after the dumbest man on the Buffalo Sabres makes it 3-0, UPL robs Danault on a rush chance. That was a really good one. And never mind. Andy doesn't get a stick on a cross crease with a wide open net. Josh Anderson plays hockey for the Montreal Canadiens in 2026, and I don't. Luukkonen has a good save on an Evans pass. He comes way out, actually, for that save. Shortly while after, the Habs score just a minute 31 after the Sabres get a 3-0 lead. There's a nice puck battle. Caulfield's in the slot. He receives a pass. One-timer, and he puts that home. Caulfield now with his 26th goal of the season. He scores from Suzuki and Matheson, so this is where I say Matheson, I would say, had a solid game. He got an assist. Good on him.
Who the hell was it that got sent flying into the corner right before the goal?
I don't know, but that was off of a Doc body check. That happened. I literally had that in my notes. The goal comes right after a very nice Doc body check. Unfortunately, I didn't see who it was, but I...
Is it a questionable that it could have been an interference or not?
Maybe. It depends on how close the pass from him was. But I think you could make an argument for interference, but, I mean, UPL make the save. That's all you can really say.
Can you really expect to make a save on that point-blank chance from him?
Well, I don't know. With the way he played the rest of the game, shit, maybe. Hudson has a pass, has the puck, there's a pass, but that gets... As I put in my notes, the pass is shot blocked. Or sorry, no. Okay, never mind, I get it. Hudson with the puck, off of a pass, there's a shot blocked. There's a second shot blocked through traffic. Stopped through traffic, I should say, actually. UPL's a nice save on a batted shot after a few face-offs in the Sabres zone. Demidov has a one-timer. That gets blocked off of a rush. And the Habs go to a power play 8 minutes in. Dahlian's called for a slash on Slav, and yeah, it's a slash. Sabres clear twice. Habs can't enter the zone. Bolduc has a shot way wide and all the way back into the Canadian zone. Zach Bolduc plays hockey for the Montreal Canadiens in 2026, and Florian Jackeye doesn't. The Canadiens are 0-for-2 on the power play tonight. The Habs look depressed.
Are you guys noticing that there's a lot of Montreal Canadiens chances so far this second period?
Just a couple. Just a few. Just a few more than the Sabres. Not many, but just a few. The Habs, when we get to the shots, if you guys didn't watch the game, you'll be very surprised. Habs do look depressed. Suzuki has Anderson, so there's nothing. Poor Suzuki. There's a look for the fourth line. There's a pass stopped by UPL. Veleno would have had a wide open net if he was able to get that. The Habs are, at this point, doubling the Sabres in shots. And it was almost not even close. And speaking of shots, the Canadiens get one behind UPL. We score A very nice steal by Zach Bolduc, basically on a break. Not necessarily the Alex Burrows overtime goal, but something similar to that, where steals it right away on a break. He takes the shot. The rebound, UPL kind of falls back for some reason, and
he lost control of it. He didn't know where it was.
Loses control of it. Thank you, Chev. And Nick Suzuki, he's there. You can't give him that much room, even if you lose the track of the puck. You can't give a guy that much space. Big Dick Nick puts it home with 8:40 left. Suzuki with his 16th goal of the season, a 2-point period and a 2-point game for him. He scores from Zach Bolduc, and it's 3-2.
It's crazy because when you watch the replay of it, UPL almost got back to make the save on Suzuki.
Oh my god, dude! If he made that save, I would have been calling for his head in the best way possible. I would be calling for him to get tested. The Sabres called their timeout. Lindy was giving it to his guys at this point. He was straight yelling at them, and understandably so. If I remember correctly, the Sabres at this point are getting outshot 16-9. Or no, it's 20-9. They're getting outshot 20-9 at this point. Just a reminder, when the period started, the shots were 12-8.
10-8.
No, my notes have a 12-8.
Final stats say 10-8.
Oh, well, still. Either way, I'll believe NHL.com because it's the NHL site. The Canadiens started this period with the shot lead only 10-8. And these shots are 20-9. What the hell? Alright, I gotta find my place in my notes again. The Ole chants at this point are in full force trying to drive the Canadiens to get that, to get back that lead. Samuelson knocks down Slav. Habs, I didn't even need to say it again, but they are dominating the shots in this period. A huge momentum shift for them. Veleno breaks his stick during a puck battle. Sabres press. Quinn can't finish a side chance with a wide open net. That would have for sure turned momentum around for the Sabres. Bolduc and Samuelson behind the net. They start to shoving. Samuelson pushes Bolduc into the net to get him down. And they both get roughing minors. So we go to some 4-on-4 with just about 3 minutes left in the period. Sabres do look depressed. There is an icing called on them, though. Evans in front ends up poking at a puck. UPL holds on that. Not really all that much during the 4-on-4. Out of the box, though, Bolduc's found on a break. A really good save for UPL in the 5-hole. And Bolduc ends up behind UPL. He's not shoving him or anything. He's just there. Dahlin comes in, grabs a hold of him. The ref gets in there. Dahlin suckers Bolduc twice. Almost a 4-on-1 against Bolduc. Slav then finally comes in. He takes Byram to the boards. And, nobody's in there to defend Bolduc. Part of me wants to believe most of that is because they realize Dahlin's getting a call, which he's about to. And so they don't want to go in and end up drawing a makeup call. Too bad Bolduc says, fuck a power play. So we get the penalties, and Dahlin obviously gets 2 for roughing. You can't punch a guy in the face most of the time. Bolduc also gets 2 for roughing. For getting punched in the face, basically. And the Sabres are also on the power play. Bolduc gets called for the weakest slash at Dahlin's leg as they're getting escorted to the box. Dahlin punches Zach Bolduc, and the Sabres come out of it with a power play. Just Bush League roughing the past 2 games for the Canadiens. It's insane that it's this way for every team for at least one stretch in the NHL this year. The Habs clear early. The Sabres do get set up. The Habs fans are booing through the first 40 minutes of the penalty kill. 40 seconds, jeez. Yeah, the Canadiens were spending the rest of the game on the penalty kill. The Habs get a clear, and they get the kill. The Habs are 1-for-1 on the penalty kill. Habs barely avoided too many men penalty late. Habs do try to press, however they can't get one. Sabres have a 3-2 lead after the second period. These shots are a whopping 24-11 for the Montreal Canadiens. A complete domination on the Sabres after they score, really. After the goal, that somehow turned momentum for the Canadiens. It was probably more so the Caulfield goal, but still. Yeah, the Canadiens probably should be up in this game after that second period, but a combination of UPL playing good and Zach Bolduc being a guy.
He had a 4-minute stretch, to say the least.
Yeah, he did. Takes a penalty, which...
And if you want to know why he got a roughing penalty as well,
yes,
on the Dali, it's because he just got out of the box serving a roughing penalty, so... I believe how it works in the NHL, where if the roughing penalty starts, you can't exactly go back on it now and just let things go. They will take somebody to the box for the smallest things by then.
But Bolduc didn't do anything. Dahlin grabbed him, he shoved Dahlin back, and Dahlin suckered him twice. Bolduc didn't even shove against him after that.
Unless they called the rough on what he was on the post play with UPL, I don't fucking know.
Maybe they might have called that, but either way, the Canadiens would kill it off. So I guess technically no harm, no foul. But yeah, so the third period, Habs ice a puck early. Sabres push. There's some good D for the Canadiens early. Don't get used to that though. There's a fourth line. Bolduc has a shot just wide after a scramble. There's a puck battle. Eventually, it does get cleared down by Buffalo. Helenius with a slapper. He ends up fanning on that, though. Slav and Kesselring got a bit rough after Habs icing. There's some good push. Gooley joins the rush, but he just can't get a shot off. And 6 minutes in, Habs get a power play. Austin's called for a slash on Gooley. Sabres clear early. Habs with a cycle. Hudson ends up bailing out Slav at the line. There's a chance. Suzuki fans on a shot. That gets stopped. Hudson at the line. He can't keep it in. Tuck comes in on a shorthanded break and a big save for Samuel Montembeault. He didn't have to face many shots after it was 3-0, but the few he faced were solid chances and a very good save on the Tuck shorthanded look. The Canadiens are 0-for-3 on the power play tonight. Because the Habs go 4-on-4 into a penalty kill. Hudson is called for a, I would argue, somewhat weak slash on Alex Tuck right before the shorthanded break. Yeah, I would argue it's weak. Sporty, what do you think?
If he wasn't going on a breakaway, they wouldn't have called it.
Fair enough.
It was basically a guess effort to try to stop him. That's why they called it.
And you know what? I'll say fair enough. I think that's a reasonable explanation. So yeah, we'll get about 35 seconds of 4-on-4 before a roughly minute 20 power play for the Sabres. Nothing happens during the 4-on-4. The Habs clear early on the power play. Sabres press. Evans has a nice hit. He ends up clearing. There's a Tuck gets hit as he dangles. The Sabres press. There's a late clear. The Habs are 2-for-2 on the penalty kill tonight. So god-awful power play, fairly good penalty kill. You tell me. Lot of board play midway through the third. The Habs try to get a rush. Sabres at this point have good D, stopping anything. There's a good shift for the third line. There's a near chance for Deneau, but that's wide. Habs get another look shortly after. Evans can't put one home. They were getting rebound chances. They were getting chances to gather rebounds, but that was not happening. UPL giving up a ton. Sabres ice a puck with 7 minutes left. The Canadiens only led the shot 6-4 with 6 minutes left. Not a lot of action in this third period. This is really the point where the Sabres batten down the hatches, play defense, and just have
try to hold on.
Exactly, just try to hold on to their 1-goal lead. and an eventual 2-goal lead. Spoiler alert. That's the shots are, by the way, 6-4 after an icing on the Sabres. Habs try to tie, but there's no shots. There is a wrap try, but no one's in front to get the rebound on that. Habs again look for the tie. They just couldn't adapt to the Sabres' defensive game. Habs just get nothing. As I put in my notes, Monty passes out. As I put, but that's not what I meant. I meant Monty passes the puck as Krebs tries to pressure him. Yeah, Krebs is running by Montembeault, and he just decided to pass out for some reason. Bolduc has at this point, a big elbow to the skull of Benson. This is when this happens. It's with about 2 minutes left. He's down. They blow the play dead. And somehow there's no call on the play. So before we discuss this, I'll describe what happens. So we go to a commercial break actually on both MSG and TSN. So we go to a commercial break. The refs take a look at it. They apparently did initially call a major, so they could look at it. And they don't. They come back and they say there's no call on the play. So Bolduc jumps firstly, tries to jump into a hit on Samuelsson. He ends up moving. Benson ends up eating a back elbow as a result. And there's no call.
The funniest part was they ruled it as incidental contact, which is why I think happened earlier with the whole Zucker.
Yeah. But
here's my thought process. If he just hit Samuelson, wouldn't it have been a penalty anyway since he left his feet?
It ideally should have been. It should have been a penalty either way, I think. Whether he's hitting Samuelson and leaving his feet, or he's hitting Benson with a stray elbow. And the commentators for the Sabres brought up a really good point, which I want to mention. They talked about how if you high stick a guy with an errant stick, they still call it a high stick because you're supposed to be in control of your stick. But they don't call this one a penalty because it's an errant elbow and accidental contact. When aren't you supposed to be in control of your elbows? They brought up a really good point with that.
Better control of your elbows than a stick.
Yeah. Ideally, you'd be able to control your fucking actual body more than a goddamn piece of wood that you have in your hand, or a piece of plastic, technically. So not calling the penalty, I assume it's probably to make up, if anything, for the goalie non-call, because the actually it's probably more so for the whole Bolduc thing, because they heard how loud the Canadiens fans were pissed in the Bell Center, and they did not want to, quote, affect the game, as the officials are known to do. So they didn't want to give
But I feel like at least on that one's more of a clear-cut thing than anything.
It is, and especially like you said, if he hits Samuelson, he's getting called for leaving his feet at the very least. So it's one of those plays where this is definitely a game where the referees were very questionable for both sides. But
I was gonna text you early in the first. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a whistles down game.
Yeah, and it kind of ended up being, again, aside from the Bolduc stuff, and the kind of ticky-tack stuff, they really did not call much in this game, which usually would be how you lose control of the games, but luckily both these teams realized, hey,
the refs are getting in mode.
Sorry?
You can tell that the refs are getting into playoff mode.
Yes, that's very true. Definitely. By the time the playoffs come.
We start around this time, up until the end of the season. Expect a lot of stuff to not get called now. Yeah. The refs are going to be switching to playoff mode where a lot of things are going to be let go.
Unfortunately. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a really good point. So, to finish out the game, because we've been going for a goddamn hour now.
No shock.
Yeah, Monty gets pulled with a minute 40 left, and with 40 seconds left, Krebs scores. He gets his 6th of the year from Thompson. I actually thought it was Thompson who scored, but no. Krebs scores with 44 seconds left after a lane slapper is stopped because his stick breaks. That sucks. The Habs had the cycle going. They just couldn't find a shot through traffic. That's when, again, Hudson's stick breaks. Thompson gets it, just flips it for Krebs, who puts it home. For some reason, this is where Marty decides to call a timeout. Something he should have done a lot earlier. Monty gets pulled again with 25 seconds left. McLeod just misses the empty net. I wish he would have hit that. Yeah, he misses it just wide with maybe 8 seconds left. That does it. The final shots, 34-17 for the Montreal Canadiens. The Sabres embarrass us 4-2 in regulation, unfortunately. So that is a game that happened.
I feel like you said that exact same thing last week.
There's a very good chance that I might have said that exact same thing. This was a game that happened, and you have to move on. Play Boston next. Put Arbor-Jacka in the lineup, and just hope you can regain this big point gap you had on the Sabres 2 weeks ago, and regain that eight point
coming up after. So.
Sorry?
It's Vegas and Colorado after that, so
yeah, and we know Colorado's on a little bit of a down stretch right now. Vegas, much of the same. They just lost to Boston tonight. Probably going to lose to Toronto tomorrow too. So the Canadiens ideally should have some momentum going into the game against the Sabres next week, but something tells me that we're probably going into that game 0-3-0 somehow. So.
As for us, we got the Islanders on Saturday, the Leafs on Tuesday, and the Kings on Thursday.
And then the Canadiens on Friday, right?
Saturday.
Oh, we have a Saturday night game. Oh, that's very nice.
Saturday night at 7 in Buffalo for Game 3 of the series.
Aww.
The third and final game of the series, mind you, because I do not think the Sabres play the Habs at all anymore. No, they do not.
No, this is our fourth and final meeting, the next one on Saturday. It's the fourth and final meeting, so we'll see who takes the season series if Buffalo wins, or who ties the series if the Canadiens win that game.
Yes.
But then again, given that 2 of these games have ended 4-2, expect the Canadiens to win the fourth and final game 5-3 somehow. But yeah, so that's the game.
We won.
Exactly. Now, I will ask, Chev, do you have any final thoughts before I get into the stats and we get into the outro? Do you have any final thoughts on the game?
It was a fun game from what I watched, and just keep rolling.
Yeah, Sabres, they're on a roll. They've won, 13 of their last 16, I think?
We're going to go on the point of 17 of our last 21.
Holy shit. So yeah, the Sabres have been a wagon since right before hiring Jarmo Kekalainen, so they've been pretty damn good recently. So I know personally as a Canadiens fan, I'll be rooting for the Sabres to make the playoffs.
It's all about me, right?
Oh, you're lagging, sorry.
Well, because we're trying to just our ground right now. It's all about holding our ground right now.
Yeah.
As of right now, we still have the first wildcard spot. Boston just behind us, but we do have a game in hand on them. And as of right now, Toronto is at 57 points, and they're 3 points back from Boston.
All right. Now, honestly, I'd rather Toronto in the playoffs over Boston. So,
But Boston has lasting.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, I would rather Florida over both those teams. But looking like it's probably not going to happen, though. So, yeah. So yeah, I know as a Canadiens fan, I'll be rooting for the Sabres to make the playoffs, whether it's somehow not going to happen. Getting first in the East, or in the Atlantic, Jesus, I should say. Third, they overtake us, they're in a wild card spot, and however they make the playoffs, I just want to see the Sabres in the playoffs, because that's always fucking awesome to see. Hey,
I don't even remember.
Yeah. Dude, last time the Sabres made the playoffs, I wasn't even a hockey fan. I wasn't even watching hockey.
Shit.
Yeah, so this is literally going to be my first time watching the Sabres in the playoffs, assuming they make it. So
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
32 games.
Yeah, 32 games. You just got to win presumably half of them, and you should be in. So fingers crossed there. Yeah, assumingly at least half would be ideal.
American Conference.
Yeah. Might need to win 25 of those. Holy shit. But yeah, so after an hour, holy shit, that's going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you are on Spotify, Amazon, wherever the hell you might be listening to this. Don't forget to share the podcast with anybody who you think might enjoy listening, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's maybe looking for a Canadiens podcast, or someone who you think might enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for half an hour to an hour after every game. Very special thank you again to our guest Chev Camaro. Really, always a blast to have you on, whether it's in the live stream or the podcast. It's a blast always recording with you, getting to do some content, my good friend.
Anytime, man. And next week Saturday is going to be just as fun.
Yes, it will be, absolutely. Don't have a wedding to go to, so I'll be able to watch the Saturday game, thankfully. Yeah, so that is again going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all again so much for watching. My name is Harry Rice, and always remember, no matter how good we are like last year, how good we are like this year, or how fantastic we'll be in the future, Ale Montreal, go Habs go, and say it with me, everybody, c'est le but!